Good morning, friends. I'm Mary Haynes, a board member of Mental Health Center of Denver. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome all of us to the 2019 Gifts of Hope fundraising breakfast. Thank you for choosing to begin your day with us. We are honored by your presence and look forward to sharing the important work of the Mental Health Center of Denver with you over the next hour. We express special appreciation to our table hosts who are responsible for helping us to fill this room this morning, and also to our Mental Health Center of Denver ambassadors. These individuals represent all that we do for the people we serve. Special thanks go to our sponsors this morning who have chosen to make an important investment in the work of the Mental Health Center of Denver. They include title sponsor Citywide Banks, thank you, and visionary sponsors Sharon Magnus Blake and Ernie Blank, Cigna, Colorado Access, Denver Southeast Rotary, Digitex Systems, and more events. We also thank our innovator and collaborator sponsors whose names you will see scroll on the screens. Please join me in thanking these individuals and organizations for their generous support. Our thank you also to our honorary chairs, Cody and Seth Belsley, for their commitment to and support of mental health and well-being across our city. I know they are right down here in front, if you'll give us a wave or a stand. Thank you both for your caring. A few special guests we have in the room this morning include Colorado State Representative Leslie Herod, Bob McDonald, Executive Director of the Denver Department of Public Health and Environment, who is representing Mayor Michael Hancock, who was not able to join us this morning. Lisa Straight, Division Director for Denver Community and Behavioral Health, and Denver City Councilman Member Paul Cashman. We appreciate having all of you with us. And, of course, I would like to give a shout out to my fellow Mental Health Center of Denver board members who are scattered throughout the room. Thank you for your leadership and the passion you share with this organization. Board members, please wave your hands so that we can see where you are. Thank you. In this, our 30th anniversary year, there is a great deal to celebrate and to be excited about. I invite you to now enjoy a short video highlighting some of the programs that all of us have helped bring to reality.
All of us have mental health. No matter where we are on any given day, we all manage the ups and downs of life. At the Mental Health Center of Denver, we believe that everyone should be able to live their best lives. Because of the support of our community and people like you, we have been able to open the door wider with the hope of expanding access to care for everyone in Denver. Our Emerson Street for teens and young adults creates a welcoming community with a variety of activities and treatment services to support young people.
Emerson Street was created about 4.5 years ago. The Emerson Street is a site that serves 15 to 26-year-olds, and it was really born from noticing in the data that young people were falling off after child services and then coming back later on in adulthood into adult services. So we really wanted to capture that group and create a space that young people felt comfortable. And so it's One of Mental Health Center of Denver's only combined sites where we have psychiatric rehab and clinical services and prevention level services all housed in one. Another benefit for Emerson Street is increasing access to care within our own agency. By the time they age out of Emerson Street, we can really help plug them into other services within our agency so they're really established with that next level of care. It's growing every day.
We meet people where they are and build partnerships throughout the community. Our co-responder program is a partnership with Denver Police.
This idea came about 3 years ago. It's a joint collaboration between the Denver Police Department, the Mental Health Center of Denver. The co-responder team is a group of social workers that essentially ride with Denver Police Department, engaging in mental health calls, behavioral health calls, and trying to bring services to a community that is calling 911 in crisis. In the beginning, it was kind of like a prove it to me kind of thing, and then as we kind of developed into that, our clinicians were able to help people get into services, and then the back-end treatment that MHCD provides. The second officers got that, it was like, excellent, now we have a resource that we never had before.
I think what makes the co-responding unit so successful is that really when the officer and the clinician show up, we're not talking about two separate entities, they're really one.
So the work that I do with the police department helps the community in that we are intervening in mental health crises when people need it the most.
This helps individuals in the community access care because it is delivering it directly to them.
Looking to the future, we are using technology to make mental health care more accessible to all. Our innovation lab is developing new tools to break down barriers and optimize results.
It's important for Mental Health Center of Denver to innovate because things change, environments change, people's needs change, and we have to be there to meet people where they are.
The Mental Health Center of Denver's Innovation Lab is focused on bringing technology into clinical practice. One strategy that we're taking with that is to invest in technology as a means for increasing access to care, for improving patient engagement, and driving treatment efficacy. One of the advantages of being at Catalyst here is we're exposed to other people solving problems in creative ways, right? People thinking, how can I use technology to make healthcare better? We're doing things that people have thought about before, but they haven't done yet. It's really exciting to be doing this work, right? Like, I'm proud to be part of an organization that, believes in the future.
It takes all of us.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Jeannie Ritter, and I'm on the Strategic Community Partnership team here at the Mental Health Center of Denver. We are going to give you a couple more minutes to enjoy your breakfast and the bacon, and then I'll be back up here shortly. I'll be back up here shortly to introduce our community champions. But for now, take full advantage of your ambassadors at your table. Our mental health colleagues are at all your tables, so make sure you use them to answer any questions and hear about the parts they play at the organization, okay? Enjoy. I'll be right back. And so now I'm tasked with getting your attention again. Thank you once again for all coming out. It is a very early morning. It was a brilliant morning. This is a very big deal to us, and some of you, it's the first time you've joined us. It's very meaningful. I think we have an amazing story to tell. But for now, I have the great honor to introduce our 2019 Gifts of Hope Community Champions. This year we selected 2 champions who have inspired impactful changes to the conversation around mental health and well-being, both at the national and the local level. Each community champion has boldly taken on important issues like HIV, men's mental health, suicide, and racial health inequities. Our 2019 community champions are incredibly inspiring individuals who demonstrate just how big an influence of a single person can have. We are a stronger community because of them. First, I'd like to introduce Thelma Craig, one of our 2019 community champions. Thelma, wait. I told Thelma I almost wore my cowboy boots, but we got the memo. Thelma is the founder and co-chair of the Colorado Black Health Collaborative, which provides access to care and health equity to keep Colorado's Black community healthy and strong. Thelma spent 30-some years as an inspiring and ardent advocate in the public health arena, where she helped educate and improve care for vulnerable populations. So think early 90s, door to door, walking the streets, ensuring the Black community was getting outreach and care. Thelma speaks of the power of healing and well-being that includes, yet goes beyond, the data, the interventions, and getting folks to the clinic. She understands the time it takes to build trust. It's no secret that Thelma figured out to gather people, you can use food. And so back in the early days, Thelma called it the family reunion, where she gathered folks literally around the table to talk about what healthcare looks like to that community and what's meaningful. Now, the Colorado Black Health Collaborative just a few weeks ago had over 800 people celebrating the value of healthcare in that community at our site, the Dahlia Campus for Health and Wellbeing. So, Thelma, we're so proud of the work you do. And thank you. And as Thelma said, she wants to take that Black Health Collaborative to the next level. So let's, congratulations for being a community champion. Next, I have the honor of introducing Joe Conrad, the founder and CEO of marketing and advertising agency Cactus and health technology company Grit Digital Health. Now I have, you'll notice our honorees are not able to come to we run a tight program. It is about more than the bacon, but they don't have the opportunity to take the mic, but we encourage you to go to our website because we'll have uploaded interviews with both of our champions that you can access. So Joe said, Jeannie, you got to mention Cactus and Grit Digital Health every time you mention my name, so I'm going to try and be strident about that. So both Cactus and Grit Digital Health create meaningful campaigns and initiatives for a wide range of national causes, including mental health, suicide prevention, and crisis intervention. So I will say, Joe, you and your teams inspired those of us around you to dream bigger and achieve more in advancing well-being. You saw earlier in the program on the video, Wes Williams and Aliris talking about moving things into the future. And Joe has done this with us. Your early work, along with your team at Cactus, with man therapy was revolutionary and represented a breakthrough in engaging men to talk about their emotional well-being. Now with Grit Digital Health, the creation of You, that's Y-O-U, You at College, you're advancing the overall well-being for college students on over 50 campuses, population we all care about. Joe, thank you for being bold and taking the unlikely sectors of marketing and technology and using them to forward the work around mental health and well-being. Anybody knows me knows that I went kicking and screaming into the technological world, and you were a really big part of my formation and understanding this. So it's very meaningful to thank you for how you've inspired people and gotten these unlikely partners on board. Join me in a round of applause for our 2019
Thanks,
Community Champion show.
Really, really well deserved.
Highlight of my life. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.
So thank you very much, and thank you. Now we get to hear from Dr. Carl Clark.
All of us, we all have mental health.
It's an interesting thing. Our brains, they sort of do three things. Our brain thinks, it feels, and we do stuff. And yet when I say mental health, the first thing people think of is mental illness. So where are we on this continuum? Everybody has mental health, and we're somewhere between, most of us are probably doing just fine. There are some people in the room that are actually thriving. Their well-being is like off the charts. Then there are the ups and downs that happen of everyday life that can impact our mental health. Sometimes it impacts it in such a way that an illness actually occurs. Most people recover from illness. There are a group of people that wind up having really tough illnesses, the kind of persistent and serious types of illnesses. That's the group of folks that need our respect and our compassion, and certainly access to care. I know this personally because many of you know that my dad had bipolar disorder that went undiagnosed for a significant amount of his life. And then I felt like our family was lucky. We were lucky in a lot of different ways. We were lucky that when he got sick, there was a state hospital that he could go to. We were lucky that there were people there that had compassion for my dad and our family and helping us understand that he had an illness. I felt like we were lucky that there were people that hung in with my dad all those years he fought the idea of having a mental illness and his going in and out of the hospital and people not giving up on him. And I felt lucky that my dad finally got to that point where it's like, wow, I really have this illness and I need to take care of myself. And I was grateful that my dad recovered from his illness. Because like anybody dealing with an illness, my dad was so much more than that illness. He was a great dad. So I don't want access to care to be based on luck. I want access to care to be based on a system that opens the door wide so anybody can get what they need. So what do we do? Well, the lay of the land is this. 1 in 5 people are dealing with a mental illness at any given moment. And of those folks, only 2 out of 5 are actually getting access to care. That means most people, 3 out of 5, are not getting what they need. So we want to change that equation. Our work, we sort of do several different things. The first thing we do is that we do things with the body. It's called somatic treatments. So we look at, what do we need to do with this person's body to help their mind be very, very healthy? It might be medications. It might be transcranial magnetic stimulation. It might be getting good sleep, getting good exercise, eating properly, all those things that help the body, help the mind be healthy. The second thing we do is really around psychotherapy. Psychotherapy's been around for a long time, evidence-based. It's really helping people with their thoughts, their feelings, and their actions in a way that makes them more healthy. The third thing that we do is the social determinants of health. So these are those things that impact anybody's life. There are things like a place to live, going back to work, going back to school. In fact, social determinants often have a bigger impact on people's overall health and well-being than any clinical work in any clinical discipline. So we focus on those 3 things. Now, health is more than absence of illness, right? So we've expanded the concept to think about not only do we help people's minds get better, what can we do from the field of positive psychology to help people thrive in the world? And when we think of this concept, we think of everybody. That includes our staff, the people we serve, you. Everybody's well-being is important to us. So the science of well-being is very interesting of what it's uncovered. If you have a friend whose well-being is good, they have a 15% influence on your well-being to the positive. If you have a friend who has a friend whose well-being is good, and you don't even know them, it has a 6% influence on your well-being to the positive. And then it goes the other way. If you have a friend whose well-being is not good, it has a 6% influence on your well-being to the negative. So as it turns out, we are all very, very connected. And anything we do in our community that helps somebody's well-being helps the well-being of everyone. So this is a phenomena that happens with us as the Mental Health Center of Denver. Somebody may not be doing as well as they'd like to be doing, and then they start having a debate with themselves about whether they come to see us or not. I'm depressed, but am I that depressed? Am I depressed to the point that I have the illness of depression, or is it just regular depression? And we have people who don't come and see us because they haven't decided if they're ill enough to come. We want to change that. We want to change it where if somebody just wants their well-being to be better, that they walk in our door. You don't have to decide if you have an illness or not. If you do, we will take care of that. But we want people's well-being to be better. We want well-being for everybody that lives in the community. So the challenge is that if we look at our workforce in the United States who does this type of work, it has decreased 14% over the past 10 years. There are fewer people doing this work than ever before. For every psychiatrist that comes out of training, there are 2 psychiatrists that are retiring. So we're facing a situation where we have a small workforce and the demand is very big. So how do we solve that problem? It's really about doing it through technology. So what we want is for every person who decides to go into this field, that they have all the things around that relationship between the therapist and the person they're seeing that enhances their ability to help them get better. So that includes using technology in a way that expands their capacity. What are the things that can be done in the room, and what are the things that can be done outside of the room? So I get a call every week, if not every day, where somebody is saying, Carl, I hate to bother you, but I have a friend who has a son or a daughter, or it might even be for themselves, and I need to get access to care. And they're like, I don't know where to go. We need to use technology that we have right in the palm of our hands. What we want in our future is a digital front door, so that it's in every one of your hands, so that when you decide that you have a friend or a family member that needs help, you just pull out your phone and you get help to the care that you need. That's what we envision. Now we can't do this overnight. That's why we invented the sort of technology innovation lab, so that we can start moving forward in getting things together for people to get the help that they need. So, how many of you know somebody who needed access to care but couldn't actually find it, right? And how many of you had somebody who got access to care but it was actually hard to get to, right? And so how many of you want everybody to get what they need? Yeah, that's what we all want. So I'm grateful for a lot of things. I'm grateful that together we have created programs like Emerson Street for young people, the co-responder program, our walk-in clinic, our Dahlia campus, I'm grateful for all of that. I'm also grateful to our staff for giving 30 years of hard work to get us where we are today. And the last thing is that I'm grateful for you and all of us together. What makes us uniquely human is our imagination. We're different than all the other animals. We can imagine things that have never existed before. And collectively together, if we can imagine it, we can make it happen. So what we're imagining is everybody in Denver's well-being is better. That we're not just for that place that started with a gold rush, or that place that is growing rapidly, but that place where it's an epicenter of well-being and the ripple effect that it'll have on our entire community. Thanks for being here.
Self-defined crisis is anything from I'm hungry and I don't know what community resources are out there to I'm feeling suicidal.
The loss of a family member.
Medication explanations.
A kid not wanting to be at school to an adult who's just having a bad day and feeling like they're at the end of the ropes.
A crisis could be anything.
A lot of people just want to be listened to.
A self-defined crisis is whatever it means to that person.
It just depends what an individual is experiencing at that point in time.
The Walkin Center is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week facility where we treat anyone who walks in our doors in what we call a self-defined crisis.
So if a person believes they're in crisis, then we believe they're in crisis. So whatever that looks like for the individual, we're ready to help them. When somebody walks into the Walkin Center, they're first greeted by staff and they meet with first a nurse.
Then our peer specialist will come out and greet them.
As a peer specialist, I work with clients where they're at. So I kind of triage a little bit to find out what their needs are.
Sometimes people are in need of services and they don't know that those services even exist.
We are the first point of mental health care contact for a lot of folks in our community who have never thought to seek mental health services before.
The Walkin Center is a starting point for a lot of people who are looking to get enrolled in services.
One of our cultural values at the Walkin Center is access to care. We want mental health services to be accessible, to be demystified. For a lot of folks coming in here is sort of the ability to learn about all the different opportunities they have for ongoing services so that they can continue to address their mental health needs or their resource needs.
I think the most unique and most important part of the Walkin Center is that we are present. We are always open, we are here 24/7, and all somebody has to do is walk through the door.
It's a life changer for some people. They come in and don't expect to receive the help that they're going to get.
I think our staff do a great job walking with people and letting them know that they're not alone and that things can get better.
To me, seeing someone have their life turned around, maybe not the first visit, maybe not the second visit, but seeing that change in people is what really makes it all worth it.
I often find myself feeling really grateful that I'm able to make a direct impact in people's lives.
It's a real honor to serve people on their toughest days. I think we provide a lot of hope. Good morning. As you heard, the Walkin Center is a 24/7, 365 service to the community for those experiencing a self-defined crisis. Our staff is made up of an interdisciplinary team, nurses, peer specialists, mental health therapists, a project coordinator, and a program manager. Peer support is an exceptional service where a person we serve is able to meet with someone who has been through similar circumstances. Our peer support specialists have lived experience and can show people that we serve that they are not alone and that their situation can get better. People who come to the Walkin Center come from all walks of life. All of us are people who are served at the Walkin Center. There we help people meet a range of needs from emotional support, someone who may be feeling suicidal or depressed, to connection to mental health services, as well as community resources such as a referral to a food pantry. A person we serve came to my office and said, "I don't know if you keep notches on a tree somewhere for the number of lives you save, but if you do, you should add another notch." While I felt like that statement was profound, I think it is very reflective of the work that we do every day at the Walkin Center. This work helps us move towards our organizational vision of making sure everyone in Denver has what they need to thrive. One important goal we have at the Walkin Center is connection to care and connecting people to ongoing mental health services. Our hope is that people who need the full spectrum of services that are offered by the Mental Health Center of Denver are able to connect with a treatment team. Here's a personal story of someone we saw frequently at the Walkin Center for more than a year, and who we were able to connect with ongoing care at the Mental Health Center of Denver.
PJ, when he was born, wasn't eating very well. He was always in some level of distress physically, unfortunately with a failure to thrive. That was the diagnosis. I mean, there was a host of things that were problematic for PJ. After that diagnosis of failure to thrive had gone by the wayside and had subsided, PJ was a normal, happy, healthy young man. It was when he got into high school, we started seeing some things that caused some concern.
They said, PJ, we need to get you checked out and looked at.
We were eventually able to determine that he was suffering from schizophrenia. It created a number of problems for him. And then eventually, as a matter of course, he became homeless. I constantly worried about him every day. Sometimes I didn't even know where he was.
I was sleeping under a bus stop. One time, somebody from Crisis Center grabbed me, said, "Man, you gotta stop doing this." He always said, "Yup, Paul, come on in, come on in."
The people at the Walkin Center reached out to me, and then we would have conversations around what's going on with him at the time and how things could get better.
I was in a crisis, and they helped me out.
PJ would tell me about the Walkin Center, or he would tell me about the things that he would learn, what was available to him, and then he would take advantage of those things, and then he would share them with me, and you could see the smile on his face when he saw, okay, I'm going to probably be able to get that much better. He would not have been able to do that had there not been the support from the Mental Health Center, from the Walkin Center, from his family support, and all those kinds of things.
They treat me with nothing but love, respect, and honor.
It's time for him to move on. And then it was like, okay, but where does he move on to? The Sandersons' goal is to address those individuals who have a history of homelessness. My son was one of those people for years. I don't think he would have gotten there had it not been for this collaborative effort. He is so proud of what he's accomplished. He wants to be a contributing person in society. He wants to be respected. He wants to be able to demonstrate that he's not the same person. And he works hard at that. He works very hard at that. And I think he does a really good job.
MSCD's helped me out a lot. Without MSCD, I wouldn't have a place to live right now.
I can't thank the entire system enough for that.
MSCD is one cool place. I wouldn't have the food I have in my house now. I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't have no money, but MSCD is cool. I'd be dead broke.
At the end of the day, why he has made it, having to learn how to survive, get help when he needed it, The Walkin Center being there, family members being there, and then finally learning it doesn't always have to be this hard. And I can probably do a lot better on my own once I know how to do those things. And he's learned that from an entire community.
Paul is just one example of someone who came in for one service and was able to engage in a full spectrum of services that the Mental Health Center of Denver has to offer. Thank you to Paul and his father for sharing your journey. People come into the Walkin Center and are often in crisis and feeling like they don't have options. If the hope of employment or housing has not worked out for someone and they have become homeless, we have the resources to help them reconnect with family, which is just one way in which we instill hope for people. Our Families Reunited program is not Greyhound therapy, but it is a program where we purchase a bus or a plane ticket for a person we serve after we have made contact with their family. One example is a person we served just yesterday who came to Denver to find work but was without 2 forms of identification, so he was unable to access employment and found himself homeless. He could not work day labor without 2 forms of ID and had no resources or income. We were able to connect him back with his mother, who can provide him a place to live while he gets back on his feet. The cost of a ticket to travel is very low compared to the cost of leaving someone homeless and the cost of their dignity. This unique program is unmatched in Denver, where we understand how difficult it is for someone to negotiate resources while they are homeless. Thank you for being here today and sharing your time to be part of what we do at the Walkin Center. And now I'll leave you with one more story.
We came over here with the hope that we find work out here, and we do work in the agriculture fields. We're farm workers. We cut and pack melons, lettuce, and we were told that in Colorado there was work out here and that they house you, and all we had to do was just pay a little portion of the food, and we had showers and everything was handed down to us, but we ran into the wrong people.
And so we rode with them on the van coming to Colorado to come work at the lettuce field.
And they stopped us in 5 minutes, and they never did give us work again. They never gave us housing, and they never fed us or nothing, so they just left us.
We see a lot of people who find themselves in a unique crisis of being stuck someplace where they don't have a support system.
And it was like, what do we do from here? Where do we go?
We've been going from shelter to shelter and living in the streets, been sleeping in the courthouses, by the churches. We ended up being stranded here, and my wife just kept telling me, don't give up and just keep walking and just look to the sky and just don't give up.
I never gave up hope. I knew that there was going to be some kind of help. I just kept pressing on. What was so hard in the struggle of the journey was the walking, plus we got robbed with our IDs and Social Securities. When a person is homeless or is abandoned and know where to go, you go through a lot of fear. We met up with another person. He actually told us, there is a place that will help you. They will put you on a bus and send you home. I'm like, you're kidding me. I said, there is a place that does that? Please show me. I need to know. I need to know where.
One of the services that we offer here at the Walkin Center is a program called Families Reunited. And that service lets us purchase bus tickets and plane tickets for people who are stranded here in Denver, but have a family member or friend that they can stay with in another city.
I've never even knew there was a program out there that does that to help families. when they're stranded in another state.
What touches me is a person who came here to Colorado to start a new life, wanted to do better for themselves, and then discover that it's not working out.
And so she started talking about the program and how they help people out. I was just ecstatic again. I was like, I can't believe my ears. I'm hearing this, you know.
And when I tell them, I will buy you a bus ticket to get you home, and then they go from this sad, depressed person to like, really? You're really gonna get me home? I'm really gonna go home? I'm not gonna have to sleep on the street tonight? That warms my heart.
Thank God for these tickets.
To me, it was a dream come true. This is the break we were waiting for.
We want to thank the Walkin Center for helping us to get back home to Arizona. And I'm going to hang on to that hope forever, because if you believe in yourself and believe that there is someone out there that does care, there is. Because I'm living it right now, today.
Thank you, Marissa, and everyone who participated in our Spotlight video. So touching. I hope that we have broadened your knowledge of the work of the Mental Health Center of Denver, and that we've inspired you to join with us in ensuring that important programs and services we provide may reach even more people in our community who need them. Together, we really can increase and enhance access to care. On your tables, there are envelopes and pens that you may use to indicate a gift or pledge. There are a number of options in terms of the ways that you may complete your gift of pledge, and they include a check or cash and request an invoice for the amount you indicate. Ask to have a member of our development office call you to make a gift by credit card over the phone. Or, the easiest way of all, you may give using your mobile phone to text using the information seen on the screen behind me. Should you have any questions or need assistance, there are members of the Mental Health Center of Denver staff in the lobby with iPads who are prepared to help you complete a gift or make a gift online. All of us together are dramatically shifting the conversation around mental health and significantly impacting our own well-being and the well-being of those around us. Thank you for being with us. Enjoy your day. We appreciate you.